Kyle here from allmediareviews.blogspot.com. Decided I've been sort of putting this off, procrastinating. I'm going to do probably two. This is the first of two vinyl updates, collections, that kind of stuff. I did a vinyl video a couple months ago, and it turned out terrible because the camera wasn't in the right spot. It looks like I'm in the right spot today. So I'm going to do, this is going to be, I guess, one metal video, it'll be a metal vinyl and one not metal. I'll just do the metal one now. So anyway, so few things. Here is, I have SikTh's Opacities EP, which I bought from from the Pledge Music campaign, of course. It was like December of 2014, I think. As you can see, it comes with a nice booklet, and my name might be in here. I don't know. A lot of the lyrics and stuff. I don't know if any of the other SikTh stuff actually is on vinyl, but I'm going to get to see them finally live, although one of the members left. But I'm going to see them live in less than a month, and I think it's at the Varsity Theater in Minneapolis with Periphery. The Periphery part is I can take or leave, but I'm glad I'm going to get to see them finally. The British sort of experimental, you know, mathcore, progressive, you know, gonzo vocals. And this is their newest EP, the first thing they've released it came out the end of 2015 technically. But it's called Opacities. It's the newest. They took like whatever it was, a 4 or 5 year hiatus, and they started playing live again. I think it was like 2013, 2012, something like that. But yeah, it's a good EP. It's not necessarily my favorite thing they've done, but it's certainly up there, and it's certainly, there's a lot of, I mean, I guess the name specifics. The title, the Opacities, Philistine Philosophies, I think it was, and Tokyo Lights were two of the better tracks. There's some narrative stuff in there. Under the Weeping Moon. I mean, I guess it doesn't stand out necessarily as addictive as some of the others at this point, but it's still a record I've enjoyed. So I also have, I picked up the last couple of months, I don't have the new one on vinyl yet, but I have, this is Black Future, Vektor's album, I believe this is Outer Isolation, yep. Which kind of looks, you know, the resemblance and the influence from Voivod is obvious, but Outer Isolation. I got this right around the time of the release of the new album, Terminal Redux, so 180 gram, cool labels. Although obviously the artwork doesn't have sort of the, could be blue and yellow kind of ish, but I have a t-shirt that I think I wore in another video that, oh geez, I don't want to ruin this. But yeah, this is, I think, I mean, I like Terminal Redux a lot, but I think this is sort of, this record, I got more into them than even before I had before. We're just going to do this. But I still kind of stand by this record as my favorite from Earache Records. The new record's really good. It's a little longer over a net total, but, and you know, let's see, Tetral Structural Minds, Cosmic Cortex, the first side I remember really sticking out, and then the kind of the climax on the second side, Fast Pace, Society, and the title track. So I also picked up, I didn't buy them the same day, but I went back to Cheapo in St. Paul, and they had this, and I decided no one bought it, I'd buy it. This is a gatefold. The other one, this is Black Future, the Vektor, the official debut album of Vektor. And this came out in, I think, 2009. Interesting cover. It's interesting artwork. Members right there. Asteroid and the Dark Nebula. Yeah, I mean, you know, Vektor are one of the better bands making sort of a form of extreme metal today. I mean, are they modern thrash metal? Well, they are, but they're also a lot more technical than some thrash metal or modern thrash metal bands. You know, in Terminal Redux, you know, again, I don't talk extensively about it. I think I did. I wrote about it in the blog, but here's the second disc. You know, Vektor doesn't make short records generally, and considering this is their first album, they're doing like a zombie thing right there. So, yeah, great to have this album. I mean, I see their catalog to be basically all pretty close, you know, all three of their records. I'm not saying that they don't distinguish each other, but they're a little bit like Foals in that sense. You know, it's like I love all their albums more or less. Some a little bit more than others, but there's not that much difference. So Then around that same time, like back in June or it was late May, I think when we got the Monkey stuff out in West Metro in Minneapolis, technically Golden Valley, I found a copy of this. This was a record store day that I didn't find a record store day. Is Dark Tranquillity's Fiction album. Melodic death metal from, I think they're from Sweden, but I hope I'm not wrong on that. I'm pretty sure because a lot of the whole Gothenburg scene, you know, of Soilwork and In Flames, I think most of those bands were from Sweden. But anyway, this I got into Dark Tranquility about 10 years ago when I was checking out, well, 9 years ago, I guess, extreme metal bands, and they have great energy on a lot of their albums, a lot of their songs. I love the kind of synth layers, and just, you know, they're melodic because obviously that's part of the genre's title. It comes with all the lyrics and everything. But this album, I think it came with a CD or it came with something else too. This happens to be my favorite album, or I guess the one album that I went back to the most. I checked out 4 or 5 of their albums. I have some more of them on CDs. Looks like it also has a 7-inch 45 of some kind, which I'm not sure if it's the title track from Fiction or what. Fiction, yeah, which is kind of cool. You don't really see that with most others. I don't know if, again, that was because of Record Store Day or what, but I can't complain. I didn't, you know, pay nothing for this. This is brand new, you know. But yeah, I mean, I guess if I was naming, I like the fact it's a red vinyl and everything I just showed. Again, these cases are not meant to, but I don't know if I predict. I haven't listened to this album in a number of years, but specific songs that I really enjoy: Misery's Crown, maybe, and let's see, Below the Radiance, and Icifer, Inside the Particle Storm. I just remember the flow of this record is just excellent. It's just song to song. It doesn't get bored. It's like Hawkwind almost in that sense. It's like Hawkwind doing melodic death metal in a way. And I just love the cloudy sort of tones and textures of the synthesizers. They never overstay their welcome. And that's why. I think a lot of Dark Tranquillity's albums are like that. I've never seen them live, unfortunately. But I would say that they're almost a little bit of guilty of being a little bit the same. And so I guess this is the one record that sort of piqued my interest. But I don't know if I've listened to 3 or 4 other records and I'd be able to tell you that song sounds like this album and blah, blah, blah. I mean, I'm sure their hardcore fans totally do. So then I just, this past weekend, I finally found a used copy, and it was not inexpensive, but I've been looking for it. I've been wanting to buy some Opeth vinyl, and this is my favorite Opeth album. This is Ghost Reveries. Finally, you know, it will probably get reissued at some point and become less money, but yeah, this is my favorite Opeth album. I know some people rag on the Grand Conjuration or think it's overrated or think there's better songs like Bane of the Hounds on this album, and what's the other one? There's a couple others that people really... And in this record, I mean, I think it's stronger. Its strongest point is the fact that it's, you know, the greater than the sum of its parts. But yeah, and of course this didn't have this. Let's see here, the drummer was Martin Lopez. I thought someone else left before this album, but Steven Wilson didn't produce it. I know that much. But yeah, let's see here. Harley Quinn Forest is another favorite. To me. The Grand Conjuration sounds like Opeth really channeling their inner Deep Purple. That's part of the reason why I like it so much. But Bane of the Hounds, Beneath the Mire, and Ghosts of Perdition, I think that's the other one that a lot of people just praise. But yeah, very cool to finally have this. I mean, I'm going to try to find some other Opeth. I've seen some other Opeth here and there on vinyl, but they've always been pricey. And it's like the one I paid for this, which is more than I typically pay for vinyl, although it is a double at least. I guess I wouldn't necessarily want to again, throw that money out at other records, but I eventually would like to get albums like Deliverance, Still Life, and Blackwater Park probably. The others, yeah, they did Record Store Day for, was it the one that followed it? I'm blanking on the title, but I might get it at a discounted rate, but it's always been over $30. And the records like Heritage and the new record, and I'm just very kind of picky with Opeth. As much as I do like Opeth, people love them. I guess I've never been attached to them, even though I like extreme metal. Anyway, going on, I found this Dream Theater bootleg a couple months ago at the same store at Garda Records in Minneapolis. It's from '93, so it's from sort of the sort of the classic early period of Dream Theater. Kevin Moore was still with the band, so he plays on this. Here's your set list. It includes Status Seeker, Learning to Live, Puppies on Acid, and Take the Time, and then To Live Forever. Of course, Pull Me Under, which was an early staple. I don't think they went too many shows without playing Pull Me Under after it hit MTV, but yeah, it's a bootleg. I should tell probably where this is from. It's from Rocky Point Palladium in Warwick, Rhode Island, 1993. They have an actual date on here. I don't see that. Oh, May 15th. So, which is weird because it was in the Images and Words tour, but they rarely would tour in like the spring like that. But that was the following year after Images and Words had come out, so they'd been touring for a year and a half or whatever at that point. So, yeah, I mean, thick vinyl. You know, the mastering on this, I haven't listened to it, of course, but someday when I'm step by step find that access. So, anyway, and then I think this is the last one for this video because this is the last of the metal releases I think that were on the stack that I was going to show. Savatage. Wake of Magellan. This is the first of a few Savatage albums that I really want to find. I have one other one that I'll show at another time. I'm going to do a feature video on them, hopefully sooner than later. But this is a 90s Zach Stevens era, which is the era that I really enjoy from Savatage. And The Wake of Magellan, one of, I count 4 or 5 concept albums they made in about a 10-year period. I mean, the 80s stuff, early 90s, I suppose, with John Oliva, some of those albums might have been considered concept albums. I guess I consider the first one really I think of as Streets. Streets, Edge of Thorns I don't think really was, neither was Fanful of Rain, but Dead Winter Dead, this, and then the Poets and Madmen, I think. I can't remember. They did a bunch of them. I don't know if, like, Hollow Mountain King I think is concept album as well. But, yeah, this is a record I really enjoy. It's not my favorite Savatage, as I'll sort of eventually reiterate in the Savatage feature video, but it's, you know, certainly in the top whatever. It's among those. I would put it basically ahead of all the John Oliva lead vocals, including Poets and Madmen. And specific tracks, I guess, I would go with Morning Sun, the title track, The Ocean Welcome. I mean, The Storm and The Hourglass is a terrific track. That's on. This is actually, yeah, because this is 2 sides. They got some acoustic versions of Desiree and Stay, but yeah, terrific. You know, concept album about Magellan, I guess, and some tales and adventures. The literary references. You know, I mean, it's got this whole, which I remember was in the CD, but I don't know if I ever got around to reading the whole thing. This whole story part. So, but yeah, Savatage are a band. While they're not talked about that much now, people know Trans-Siberian Orchestra, of course, which are basically spawned off of them. But I wish more people would talk about them because their influence still exists. So, all right, I'll be on to part 2. Thanks for watching.